What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Unscripted Sports Show, episode 4. Today we'll be doing college football week two, technically week 3, but in the college football world, it's week 2. So we'll be doing recap of week 1. I'll go over my picks I had and all that, and I'll do my pick 'em 10, picking 10 games and picking them, and then my best bets, and that'll be it. So let's get started. Um, to recap last week, I went System 4. I had Minnesota winning against North Carolina. North Carolina won 19-17. I had Colorado winning over North Dakota State, and they won 31-26. I had Penn State winning 27-17, and they won 34-12. I had Georgia winning 45-21, and they kicked ass and won 34-3 against Clemson. Oh, Penn State beat West Virginia, and Colorado beat North Dakota State. I had Florida winning against Miami. That was just a homer pick. Miami kicked them in the ass. 41-17. Texas I had winning 49-24. And they shut Colorado State out 52-0. I had Texas A&M winning at home against Notre Dame. Notre Dame won 23-13. At UCLA winning 35-24 against Hawaii. They won 16-13. LSU, I had them winning 38-17. USC is better than I thought. USC won 27-20. And BC, this was just a bitter pick because I was still bitter about Florida State costing me money in week 0 against Georgia Tech and Dublin, Ireland. I had BC winning 24-17, and they won 28-13. Florida State stinks. DJU stinks. You should be benched. I said in the Discord I was in that he should be benched. He should have been benched at halftime. He gave a spark to Florida State. I know they paid a lot of money for DJU, which was a big mistake, huge mistake. You should have gone after Cam Ward or Will Howard. I don't know why they paid for DJU. He stinks. You can't throw a lemon. You can't throw anything downfield. He needs to go to baseball and play baseball. I know he's a good enough athlete. He's good. He's a good athlete, but he stinks at quarterback. Maybe move him tight end. I'll say it. He's worse than Tim Tebow. I don't think he's gonna make it. I don't think he's gonna be an NFL quarterback. But yeah, Tim Tebow was a good college quarterback. DJU is not a good college quarterback. Three teams in his career. Clemson didn't. He left Clemson, and he left Oregon State after 1 year because FSU paid him and paid money for him. So he left for Florida State for the money. Um, yeah, I think Florida State has the bye week. They have Memphis coming up. They could be 0-3 by the halfway point. I mean, not even halfway through the season, and they could be 0-3. Their season's done. They're not making the playoffs. At this point, it's just trying to make a bowl game. I think DJU should be benched, even if it's for a game or half a game. Maybe the backup will be better. I just don't think Florida State wide receivers or players or coaches trust him at this point. The other games I wasn't surprised at. USC is better than I thought. Um, Miller Moss is pretty good. I think he's going to be good. He's a good NFL prospect. I think the quarterback for LSU is good. I think he's your prototypical NFL quarterback built. I don't know how tall he is, but he looks like an NFL quarterback. So does Miller Moss. They both impressed me. USC impressed me. Notre Dame and Texas A&M. Texas A&M is in trouble this year. Notre Dame has an easy schedule. They should make the playoffs easily. North Carolina and Minnesota game. That was interesting. That was a good game. Minnesota had the lead for most of the game. I had the first half. In the Colorado game, Colorado stinks. They are who they are. I don't think they're any good. I said they're overrated. Maybe they're not overrated because they stink. But yeah, I don't think they have a defense. Their defense stinks. They almost lost to North Dakota State. North Dakota State. Nothing against North Dakota State. They're one of the best FCS schools around. So yeah, they should have. North Dakota State should have won that game. So I'm disappointed North Dakota State didn't win that game. I had the over in that game. The over dropped by like almost 7 points. From when I did the video on Thursday to Saturday. So yeah, I took that over. The original over was 61.5, which I think that's the one I gave out, or I gave out for 58.5. I forget. But yeah, first game we're going to talk about that I'm going to pick. There's no Thursday game this week because of NFL tomorrow. Baltimore at KC. So college didn't want to compete with that, obviously. First game we're going to talk about, BYU 1-0 versus SMU. And I have SMU winning 49-35. So I have SMU winning 49-35. Spread is minus 11.5 and 55.5. Over 55.5 is the total. I do not have a bet in this game, at least not yet. So the next game we're going to talk about is Duke and Northwestern at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday on FS1. Duke is 1-0. Northwestern is 0-1. Only 1-0. Yeah, Duke is 1-0. And Northwestern is 1. Northwestern is 1-0. Yeah, and Duke is 1-0. I don't know why I keep saying that. Let's see. If it's one game, Northwestern currently 2.5 point favorite. Over under 37.5. I don't have a bet in this game yet, but if I do, what will be in the YouTube shorts I'll do on Friday. So yeah, I have Northwestern winning 17-10. Next game. Okay, the big game on Saturday at noon Eastern Time on Fox. The big Fox noon game. The defending champions host the Texas Longhorns. Both made the playoff last year. Obviously, Texas lost to Washington, and Michigan beat Alabama, and then went on to beat Washington in the national championship game. And for this game, Michigan had just too many. They have a new coach, new player, new quarterback. They played well against Fresno State. They should have probably scored more, but it was the first game with a new coach and new players, and their defense is still elite. Probably one of the best in college football. Probably top 3, top 5. Texas they have two good quarterbacks. Obviously, Manning and I forgot his name. But yeah, Texas is they opened at 4, now it's 7.5. The over under is 42.5. I don't currently have a best bet in this game yet, but I am leaning towards Texas. I'm hoping it drops to 7, 6.5, maybe. But who knows? I'll wait until Saturday to bet it. But yeah, I like Texas in this game to win 41-34. If it drops to 6 or 6.5 or 7, I'll bet Texas. If it doesn't, I'm betting Michigan, obviously, because at 41-34. 41-34, Texas goes to Ann Arbor and beats the defending champion. It's very hard to win in Ann Arbor. So Texas, this would be a big win for Texas. Next game, Oklahoma State, number 16 team in the country, hosting Arkansas Razorbacks. These two teams haven't met since 1944, I believe. Or 1980, I believe. Since 1980, when Luke Holtz was the head coach of Arkansas, I believe. Yeah. I believe I heard that. So I have Oklahoma State winning 34-17. They are open at 8. Now they're 7.5. Over and under 62. I have Oklahoma. No current bet in this game yet. Next game on the docket, I have K-State and Tulane. Also at 12 noon Eastern Time on ESPN. K-State, Kansas State, number 17 team in the country, traveling to Tulane, play the Green Wave. Both are 1-0. Tulane is a 10-point underdog at home. The over-under is 47.5. No current bet in this game. Kansas State winning. Kansas State winning 24-14. So, yeah. I think Tulane can stay in it, but I think Kansas State pulls away later in the fourth quarter. They win 24-14. This game on the docket is Georgia Tech Syracuse. Georgia Tech, of course, is 2-0. They beat FSU in Dublin Island week 0, and then they won last week. So against Georgia Southern, I believe, or Georgia State. And for this game, I have Syracuse upsetting the number 23 team in the country, Georgia Tech. I think Syracuse is going to be good this year. I think Georgia Tech is good. I think Syracuse can win at home in a close game, 27-24. Yeah, I could see this game going either way, but I have Syracuse winning in the upset. And Georgia Tech is open up 2.5. It's 2.5 now, and it's 61.5. The over under. So I have it going under. I see this game being a very good game. Games on the ACC network at 12 noon Eastern time too. This game, the first 3:30 game I'm going to do, Iowa at Iowa State. Iowa and Iowa State, in-state rival. Iowa State Cyclones travel to Iowa, play their arch rival Iowa Hawkeyes in this Iowa battle. They're both 1-0. Iowa's currently ranked number 21. They won And they won 40-0 last week after scoring 6 in the first half. They dominated the second half and won 40-0. Iowa winning 17-7, low scoring game. The over under is 35.5. Most times than not, take Iowa under, so I will likely have a bet in this game. And then Iowa is 2.5 point favorite at home against their arch rival. Next game be South Carolina and Kentucky battle in the SEC. This game is at 3:30 Eastern Time from South Carolina and Kentucky on ABC. Kentucky it opened at 9, now they're 10. Over under 42.5. I have Kentucky winning 33-19. In the first SEC game of the season for both teams. I think Kentucky is just a better team. South Carolina is rebuilding. So, yeah, I see Kentucky winning 33-19. It might be a tight game going in the third quarter. But I think Kentucky puts them away in the third. Next game on the docket. My favorite game on the docket on the slate. Nebraska and Colorado. Colorado travels to Lincoln, Nebraska to play one of the arch rivals in Nebraska on NBC. NBC night game. NBC primetime game. 7:30 Eastern Time on NBC and Peacock. Nebraska last year went to Colorado and got slaughtered. So this time around, it opened at 7, now it's 7.5, over under 58.5. Nebraska's been waiting for this game for a year. These two teams hate each other. These two teams, this rivalry goes back to the Big 8. So, this is my favorite game on this docket. I have a best bet on this game for later. I have Nebraska winning 56-27. I have them crushing them. As I said earlier, I don't think Colorado is any good. I think Nebraska is on their way back, being what they used to be. Maybe they have a talented freshman quarterback, talented roster. Their head coach is Matt Rhule, who's underrated head coach. He's doing good things there, turning that program around finally after almost 20 plus years. So yeah, I have Nebraska winning 56-27 in the blowout, getting revenge from last year when Colorado blew them out in Boulder, Colorado. Next game on the docket would be App State, Appalachian State at Clinton, number 25 Clemson. It's 8 o'clock game on the ACC network. We'll open at 17, now it's 18.5, so it jumped. And over under 53.5. So it jumped to 18.5 within a couple hours. And I wrote it was 7.5. It was 17 a couple hours ago. So I have App State covering. No current bet in this. I have Clemson winning 29-27. Clemson lost last week. Georgia, obviously, and App State won. So Clemson's 0-1, trying to get 1-1. I have Clemson winning the ACC. So I think it's going to be a two horse race between Clemson and Miami. I'm not sure if they meet this year, but I think it's going to be coming down to those two teams. Clemson getting a late field goal to win 29-27 in a close game. App State is one of those teams that doesn't is not afraid of the big dogs, the big Power Five teams or the Power Four now. Yeah, they're not afraid to schedule anybody like Clemson, Michigan. As we saw 10 years ago they beat Michigan. They're not afraid to put the big dogs on their schedule and going into a hostile environment. So they're one of those teams that are not scared of anybody, and I like that about them. So I have App State keeping it close, winning using last second field goal, unfortunately, 29-27. Next game, uh, last game we talk about is Oregon and Boise State. Both 1-0. Oregon's coming off a okay performance, not what everybody expected. At least I didn't, because I had them covering last week. The parlay, they didn't. They struggled. I wouldn't say struggled. They just couldn't score points. They couldn't get in the end zone. So yeah, they won by 10, I believe. Boise State is 1-0. They travel to Aussie Stadium at night. This game is on Peacock at 10 o'clock p.m. In Oregon is 19.5 point favorite. Over under 61.5. And I do have a best bet in this game, which I'll reveal in a few moments. I have Oregon winning 38-24. I think 19.5 is too much, but I'll talk about that in a few. But yeah, I have Oregon winning 38-24. I think it'll be close, but Oregon gets a late touchdown to win by 14. I think Boise State is a good team too. They're one of those other teams like App State that's not afraid of big dogs either. So moving, that's the pick 'em. Now to the best bets. My first best bet of the day, Friday's best bet, SMU minus 11.5 on ESPN Bet. I forgot to look at the odds, but let me check that. Okay. Yeah, minus 105. ESPN Bet. I love this spread. SMU covers. They didn't cover last week. They're back at home. So I think they cover this week. They win. I think BYU will keep it close, but I think SMU gets a late touchdown to cover the spread. Saturday's best bet. Before I get to my money play best bet, which is my best bet, which is my top best bet. Let's say that. I'll do this one first. I like the over in the Oregon and Boise State game, over 61.5, minus 110 on ESPN Bet. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think Oregon's going to score points after not scoring points last week. I think they get in the end zone. And I think Boise State does too. It's going to be a good game to finish the night off on Peacock. This is exclusively on Peacock, so this should be a fun game. I look forward to watching it. And then my money play best bet, Nebraska minus 7.5. I talked about it earlier. I love this bet. Love this game. Nebraska covers the spread. I'll even go up and find an alternate, maybe even minus 14, and bet that. So I think Nebraska's going to destroy them. It's a revenge game. I think Nebraska has been waiting for this game for a year. Matt Rule is going to have this guys ready. Nebraska has a freshman quarterback, but I think these guys are gonna be ready. Nebraska's gonna be ready. Lincoln, Nebraska at night. Whole other story. Colorado's in for a rude awakening on Saturday night. I love that this is at night. Nebraska, Lincoln, it's gonna be lit. So those are the best bets. The best bet record last week. And overall, including week 0, 2-3 last week, 3-4 overall. That will conclude the show. Subscribe to podcasts on Spotify and Amazon Music and Apple on Everything Unscripted Podcast Network. And then subscribe to Wrestling 30 Years. This Friday we'll be doing 2003 Royal Rumble. Cliff, myself, Doug, and Daniel, 6:30 Eastern Time on YouTube.com/Wrestling 30 Years. And then when tunes combine on Saturday, myself and Doug, I don't know if we'll have guests this week. And then the Bro Down with Daniel and Bobby on Sunday. And then Sunday afternoon with Mindy and Daniel for the Stavcast. And I'll be back next week for college football week 3 and NFL week 2. And look out for some shorts this weekend. Probably tomorrow through Saturday and Sunday. I try to do it every day, but only when I feel I have best bet. But look for those best bets. I'll have short vids for the games I'm going to bet on, especially tomorrow and Friday. And then I'll have a separate one just for other best bets. So, best bets for each of the games I'll do for NFL since the first week. That probably includes some player props. And I might do a fantasy football video before Sunday. And I might go live for my last money league, the one I'm commissioner in, on ESPN at 9 o'clock. I might go live, or I might do. Either way, I'll either go live or I'll do a video. But look out for that. And see you later.